Yes, yes, yes. The hunters are being the hunted. I know you're chair dancing. All right, welcome. Welcome everyone to the Breadcrumbs Project. And if I have anybody watching today, I am grateful because right now Sally Yates is testifying before the Senate and doing a horrible job, doing an absolute horrible job of it. She, for being an assistant attorney general and her conduct, she is either highly negligent or highly incompetent, because the way she handled the spying on the Trump campaign is either malicious or ignorant. There's no gray area. There's just absolutely no gray area. As many senators have pointed out, the red flags on this investigation were huge and waving noisily that this was problematic. So she was either in on the whole let's spy on the Trump campaign, or she's just so stupid that she can't cut her own meat when having a steak dinner. And I doubt that is the case at all. So she is covering up for illegal activities done at the highest offices in the FBI and Department of Justice and in the White House. From what I watched, there's no other excuse. There's no other excuse. The really big news, though, the really big thing is the list, the amount, the number of sealed indictments that are waiting to be opened and prosecuted. And so since yesterday's show and the last several days' shows, that I've been really focusing on what is coming, the oncoming storm. We have 182,771 sealed documents sitting in courts waiting to be unsealed and indictments handed down and prosecutions begin. But believe it or not, this number was higher. I don't know how much higher, but it's come down a long way, because over 21,000 have been unsealed, and over 450,000 non-sealed prosecutions have happened since 2017 at the federal level, having to do with either child trafficking or pedophilia or drug related activity. Methamphetamine rings busted, but mostly this has to do with human trafficking, especially the 182,771 cases, and it has to do with pedophilia. And I'm going to also think that murder is somewhere involved in that as well. So we have the signs of something great coming, and when it does break, it is going to be impressive. It ties in very closely with but let's get an idea before I go there. Let's get an idea of these cases and what is happening to them. This is as of July 31st. We are in, this is August 5th that this recording, so an update will be coming to this. But in July 30th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 cases were unsealed, and charges brought against an individual in Massachusetts. 1 arrest, 1 rescue. So all of these have to do with a rescue of a child or a minor. So we see, let's do the latest one, July 31st, Michael Irons. I don't know what this is about. It links to the actual notice of indictment. Gardner man arrested for possession of child pornography. Michael Irons, 44, was charged with 1 count of possession of child pornography. Following initial appearance in federal court, Irons was released in home detentions. And so this all goes under the topic of Project Safe Childhood. And if you have any concerns about someone that you think is causing harm and damage to a child or trafficking, please go to justice.gov and do a search for Project Safe Childhood. You should be able to find that pretty quickly under resources and outreach and initiatives, and report them there. If you see any material that has to do with pedophilia upon your research, report it also to the Department of Justice and to that operation, Project Safe Childhood. So this is what is going to be happening, and like Sean Morgan of QAnon FAC, who really opened this up for me. QAnon FAC is a great resource for anybody that's a beginner in the Q, and the Q movement is so very strong, very important. The Q is just we the people. It is fundamentally and soundly we the people that are concerned about, not even concerned, distressed about the cancer that has been killing our country, the great evil that has put our country to sleep and has been harvesting over 60,000 children a year in the United States of America alone. So that has been, that is the fundamental evil that we are fighting. Just checking to make sure if everything's going through. I don't want to have any rookie mistakes. And let me say this real quick right now. Please hit the like button. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel. We are a growing channel, and it's pretty exciting. Because every day there's just something new that is breaking on a subject that we study long term. And please join the project, because we have a chat room that is open during the live streams, and then we have an after show, and so I can see what your thoughts are, and if you have anything to say to me. And I'm going to read the chat right now. What do you think about Beirut? Good question. And the house arrest. All right, good. Two good questions. Beirut. Beirut was a bombing. That was an act of violence. That was an attack. There was a camera, someone that was filming, and you were able to see stuff that explosives that were going off prior to the big chemical explosion. So that to me, it just looked like something that was an attack. The chemicals that they said in a press release that tried to cover for it, that there were chemicals seized from an illegal shipment. That was a massive amount of chemicals, and I don't think anybody would think to put those in an area like that. So that was just too massive to be accidental, and I just saw too many secondary explosives going off. So it was just all too shady, and that was just devastating for a country that is already devastated. I really do think that was an attack. These sealed indictments, some people are under house arrest. Some people are under house arrest because they've been indicted and they're just awaiting trial. And so the prosecutors can keep that indictment still sealed. Now, if the person wants to say, look, I'm under house arrest, that's not violating anything. Department of Justice won't say, yeah or no. They're just it's under seal. We can't comment on it. So there's a very great big feeling that there are a lot of people that are currently either under house arrest or have a GPS monitor strapped to them. So and it goes along with that video. And again, QAnon for beginners, Sean Morgan. Go to QAnonFac.com and sign up. Send an email so you can get this download link. It is an excellent resource. It is not that long. It's 11 pages, but and it's very well done, and everything that he talks about has sourced material. So definitely go check that out. But to the commenter in the comment thread, here is the video of Hillary that I was talking about yesterday, and I've analyzed this so much over the last many hours. Hillary is leaning on that post, and her arms are in an awkward style. The only way your arms can look like that is if you're handcuffed. So she is leaning against the post, covering her hands, and in a very awkward pose. Now, notice who's not around her. Notice who's missing. This is 2016. This is September 11th, 2016. Notice who's not with Hillary. Huma, and none of her other campaign staff, her sycophant admirers. None of them are around her. The two women that are close to her, those are Secret Service people. Those are government security personnel. They could be Department of Justice, they could be FBI, but those two people are not campaign people. They don't have the usual campaigning things around them. They don't have a group of armful of files. They're not talking on the phone. They're not doing campaigny things. They're actually very focused on Hillary and making sure she stays put. Now the van comes up, and notice one guy comes over, a black gentleman comes over and grabs her by her arm. Her arm doesn't lift. Okay, Hillary is not a strong woman, so if someone was going to lift her by the arm, her arm would automatically lift up, and then somebody comes and gets her other arm. As she resists moving and going into the van, she resists arrest, and you can see they literally throw her into the van. That they don't care. And again, it's her arms that give away the story. Let's give it a watch. She's pulling back, she's leaning back, and she doesn't want to go, and she's resisting. And look, they pick her up and literally throw her into the van. And towards the end, all the security people look like and act like a big wall. So I think she was being arrested. She was being arrested. She was read her rights, and she may have been charged, and she may be wearing an ankle monitor right now. That's probably why she's not running for president. That is probably why she's not running for president, because she is wearing an ankle monitor. She can't. So this was 2016, September 11th. By then, most professionals that with clear eyes and clear conscience knew that Donald Trump was going to win. And I think NSA and the good people in the Department of Justice knew that Trump was going to win, and they were going to start executing on their plan. And the other thing that ties in with all of these 180,000 charges. Oh, by the way, let's look at this. The people that have been prosecuted and are indicted. Project Safe Child, child pornography distribution related charges, sex trafficking related charges, child pornography, sex trafficking, Safe Child, forced labor, transport of a minor to engage in sexual activity, 3 children rescued, human smuggling, child pornography. Now, these child pornography, that's what they could catch them on. We don't know at this point if and when they engaged in actual pedophilia. We pretty much feel certain that they did. We just don't know how and when and why and where. And hopefully we can get to the bottom of all these people. But these are people all over the country being charged with and prosecuted for pedophilia and human smuggling of some sort or another. And this page has at least 50 cases. And then I'm going all the way to the beginning. So this is page 31. 31 times 50 is 1,500 cases. And this is starting at 2017. This is when the president and his team hit the ground running. January 2017. There's other cases in here that started at 2016. I would say, and this person is unnamed, by the way. This one struck me as very, 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 very interesting, that they haven't unsealed and identified this person at 2016 that started these problems, this process. He's a 50-year-old Phoenix man and his 37-year-old passenger. But this case is very indicative. But it really starts January 18th, 2017. And then January 20th, it just hits. So huge. And then this is something that didn't make the news. This is something that obviously NSA had been watching, and that the Super Bowl sex trafficking sting, and that's over 700 sex buyers and 29 pimps and traffickers. 752 traffickers and pimps were taken down. So the president started, and he started strong and hard, and has not let up. And these are just breathtaking. Let's hit one of these in January 30th, 2017. A huge ring. 5 charged in Furry's child predator ring. And this is in Pennsylvania. 9-year-old boy was provided to men who would rape him. and he had other children. They took child to furry parties, and they would dress the children up as animals before they would sexually abuse them. So, and this, of course, none of this stuff really made national news. This is just all local. Human trafficking ring nets 500 statewide. So this is when President Trump and the NSA and the Department of Justice started to roll up all of the providers, the just street level providers, to the elites. And so 1,500, thousands of cases. And the only thing I really can go by comfortably here is just seeing the number of cases that have been unsealed, which is 21,000. And knowing that that's what I'm looking at there. And of course the 409,000 non-sealed. And those are just charges pressed. We got you. So 500,000, well over 600,000 cases, 600,000 indictments on either human trafficking or child pornography, or worse, pedophilia. We haven't gotten to the real ones yet, the pedophile cannibals. That's when the storm is going to hit. So right now it's just rolling up like they do in RICO cases, which is organized crime. Roll up the bottom until you get it all the way up to the top. And when we get to the top, that's when we're going to find the ugly stuff. And that's when it's going to get shocking. And that's all going to be 90 days out from the election. This is very well planned. This is all very well calendared within the Department of Justice, within the White House. Was it done for political motivations? No, not really. This is just the way you roll it out. And within a month, they're going to be ready to get to the big cases. Yeah, because they're hitting it real hard and really well. Excuse me. That one snuck up on me. Sorry about the sneeze. They're doing more and more cases every day. So in July 30th, they unsealed 5 cases, and they're going to be getting more and more and more as they go down the line. So this is going to be very significant. This is the oncoming storm. That's kind of a good point that's made in the chat room. People love Hillary no matter what. No matter what. And that is true. But we as the Q, we are doing our groundwork and getting the ground ready for what's coming. We're talking about pedophilia. We're talking about what pedophiles do. And these are millions of us now. It's no longer hundreds of thousands of Q people. There are millions of Q people around the world. And so when we're talking to each other, especially about the pedophiles, well, we get ourselves worked up about it. And then I've been talking to all my friends and family about these pedophiles, and they're just shocked. They had no idea, like I was 3 months ago. Totally asleep to this as an organized crime. Totally asleep to what these pedophiles do to children. Totally asleep as to what the cannibalistic pedophiles do to children. Totally asleep to what the satanic groups do to them. I didn't know there was a satanic group that controlled the world. I had no idea. But now I do. And so that's what I'm doing, is slowly informing my friends and family. And that is your responsibility too, to inform your friends and family about pedophiles, about child pornography, but more importantly, about adrenochrome and about these celebrities and the elite that do these horrible things to children. And then when the evidence starts coming out, then a lot of people will be ready, a lot of people will be shocked, and then there will be that group of people that no matter what are not going to believe that Hillary did all those things. And we can't do anything about that, but the videos, the video evidence that's been accumulated, it's pretty horrific. There's already one that's been leaked. I think it's called Fizzlebit, and you know, yeah, the NSA, Department of Justice, they've been doing their leaks. They've been dropping videos, pictures, incriminating evidence to get a counter response, or even being a counter response to some of the activities that the satanic group is trying to do to protect themselves. Donnie Darko. Yeah, I mean, but you know, this is not just politicians. These are thousands of CEOs. How do I know it's thousands of CEOs? Because of resignation.info, which is a website that was set up in 2007 to track resignations, firings, and retirements, and even deaths and term endings of CEOs, board members, directors, chairmen, presidents of companies, also healthcare professionals, police, banking, and politicians. The number of resignations in the last 3 years is astounding. And these are not just regular resignations. These are surprise resignations, sudden resignations. Usually, if you can resign from a CEO, as president of a company, like for example Bob Iger, when he suddenly resigned from Disney 2 years ago. Sudden and surprising resignation. That doesn't happen in a company like Disney. Whenever that president CEO is ready to retire, it's a 5-year process. It's a 5-year process. They name the incoming CEO, and then he's given about 2 years to kind of get to know what have you, kind of work closely with the board, work closely with different teams. Then there's a couple of years of transition that happens. And then finally, the last year, the new CEO is basically in charge, and the outgoing CEO is just there just in case, just checking. And then finally, the date of resignation happens. There's no sudden resignation. Spend more time with family when it comes to a Disney CEO or a Microsoft board member or a Berkshire Hathaway board member. They resign, and it's a very comfortable resignation. But usually when you're a board member, you're on that board until you either are incapacitated or dead. You know, board members to these big companies are board members for life. Very well paid, very cushy, a lot of perks. So Bill Gates doesn't suddenly resign from Berkshire Hathaway and Microsoft to spend more time with his charity. The same goes with Eric Schmidt, and same goes with all of these resignations that have happened throughout the United States, Canada, China, and Australia. They're all very sudden. They're very, 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 very regular. 9,600 in 3 years. You should have no more than 500, maybe 1,000 in 3 years. This is indicative of something happening. Fizzle Drip. Fizzle Drip is the leaked video from the laptop. They had to get it out there. NSA, the police department, they had it, and it's a video of Huma and Hillary torturing a little girl, a satanic style torture. I couldn't watch it. Now, If I have somebody that's really down for Hillary and the charge has been pressed and they're just saying this made up, I'm going to say, let's watch this together. Because everybody that's watched it has no doubt that it's Hillary and Huma torturing a little girl. Absolutely, when Bill Gates wears a pink sweater, it's on purpose. You betcha. The symbolism. Symbolism is their downfall. So, and this is why the president has been saying, this is why the Q has been saying, do not mistake silence for inaction. And they don't want to point us. They want to say, hey, look at all the indictments. I mean, that's already been said in so many different ways, because they don't want to spook the hunter, the people that were hunting. Again, the hunters, the child predators, the child sex traffickers, the child rapists, the child sodomizers, the child torturers, and the child murderers, the people that thought this was fun, that this is how they would, this is their idea of hunting, that they would set children loose in a forest within a castle that is overgrown with burrs and thorny bushes, and have them run through it in the middle of the night, pitch black, cutting themselves up, trying to run away from the monsters, and falling and just cutting themselves to shreds. These monsters are being hunted now. The hunters of this are being hunted. And we don't want to spook that prey too badly. So the Q is not going to say, look, we've got 182,000 indictments waiting. Nope. Just simply do not mistake silence for inaction. And also, nothing can stop what's coming. Nothing. The indictments are sitting in federal court. The work has been done. The heavy lifting has been done. Now it's simply the prosecution. And the prosecution is just a dog and pony show. The prosecution just is going to take all the work, the investigative work, all that's been done, take all the evidence that's been accumulated to bring this indictment and present it before a court, a tribunal, if you're military, or if you're government. There's some parts of government that are under different jurisdictions. If you're military and you've been part of this, you're going to a military tribunal. You're not going to a court. You're under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. UCMJ. You sign the paper. So there's a lot of folks that are going to Gitmo, whether they're going through the normal process, which is military. That's where a lot of us who served in the military, that's where we'd go to jail if we had done something really bad. So Gitmo is going to get filled up with people because there's a lot of military folks that are tied up in this. If we go through the indictment list, and if we go through the fired list, the fired list and resignation list has a lot of military folk. So it's going to be on, very much on. No, Trump wears pink because he likes it. It goes good with his orange. No, Trump's been always been a fan of pink ties and of pink sweatshirt. It's always been a color. I think he's a winter. If I get it right, yeah, he's half Scottish, so that's why he's got a fake tan. He's got orange his hair to give himself some color. So he's always been a wearer of when he wears ties, he wears blue and more of a powdery soft blue than a dark blue, than a navy blue. And his red ties he just leans more to the winter. But Bill Gates wore his pink for another reason. Yeah, and that's what they do. That's what pedophiles do. They use their symbology where they can hide out in the open. Eyes wide open, eyes wide shut is a terminology. So they do their symbolism, and we just think, oh, he's wearing pink because he just, no. And we can tell that in this picture with Epstein, Bill Gates is more of a spring person. He's more dark colors. I think that's how it works. But he's known to wear his strong dark colors, bold colors. Here he is with Jeffrey Epstein. He has no reason to be with Jeffrey Epstein except for sexual reasons. Again, who's in the middle? Jeffrey Epstein. Who's the man of power? Jeffrey Epstein. Who's the man of the moment? Jeffrey Epstein. Where was this taken? At Epstein's very luxurious mansion in New York City. And these people should not be with this man at all. The CEO of Barclays, and this is what they've done. This is what the Q has spoken out. The satanic cult that basically runs the world puts their people that they control either through them being pedophiles or cannibalistic pedophiles, so they can share that secret, or they have blackmailable material on these people, and they say, look, no, we're here to support your career. We want you to advance, but just do what we want you to do, and this information won't come out. It's fine. It's not a problem. We're going to help you advance your career. We think you're a great guy. We just have this right here as an insurance policy. And that's language that those people use a lot, insurance policies. Remember, that's what Strokes told his girlfriend Lisa Page. The very married Peter Strzok was telling his girlfriend that the insurance policy that they had on the Trump campaign. So that's how all of this works. That's how all of this works. Larry Summers, is he a pedophile? I would think so. If he's not, then they have blackmailable material on him. Jess Staley, is he a pedophile? I don't know, probably so. But if he's not, then they got something on him. There's no reason for these three very high and powerful men to be in the presence of Jeffrey Epstein unless it had to do with sex. And not normal sex, deviant sex. Yeah, and that may I could answering a statement in the chat room. I could be wrong about Trump wearing pink. He could be signaling. He's a troll. He doesn't mind trolling them, and will do so at the drop of a hat. To go into the details of these indictments, there is a good bit of information tied into these indictments. So there's supporting material that you can get, and that this just isn't willy-nilly guessing numbers and grabbing numbers out of thin air. Waiting for this Google Docs to finish loading. Sorry, folks. While we wait, we'll go ahead and just chit-chat some more. You can reach out to your own local court and ask them how many sealed indictments do we have in our state, and that's public information. They have to tell you. You're a citizen. You're obligated to that information, and then you can go to different resources on the web and pull that information as well. So there is supporting documentation in many different ways of these indictments and the gathering storm. And then again, you can just look at the number of resignations and see that this has been a very controlled and very well orchestrated effort by the President, the White House, and Department of Justice. And one of the things that you can really tell by the massive numbers of these indictments is that they're all tied in together. They're all tied into a conspiracy, for lack of a better word. And the one thing that is binding all of these cases is abuse of humans, children, either through rape or through photography. Adults is if they're being trafficked, and raped. And then there's also slavery. Slavery is a very real thing in our country and around the world. We have millions of people trapped in slavery, like the slavery of the 1800s, 1700s, 1800s here in America, and that have been going on for thousands of years. And so this is all part of it too. All those people that are caught up in slavery, if we have the information, the access to it, which we do because, NSA, we see all. They see all. And I love making the point that all the information that came out that absolved General Flynn did not come from the FBI. Those were all FBI secret documents and very secure documents for the FBI, but the NSA produced them. So at some point in time, they were saved in a server or they were transmitted, but somehow or another, the National Security Agency got their fingers on it and produced it to the court and to the attorney for General Flynn. Those came from the NSA. Those didn't come from the FBI. So if the NSA has top-level FBI documents, they got it all. They've got it all. And that's the engine that's producing all these indictments. Yeah, I like that. He trolls too. It's he's good at it. He's a master troll. So feel secure that something is happening. Feel comfortable that this Google Docs is locking up my software, and it's not rendering. So everybody that works with Google Docs or Google Docs and Gmail has the hardest time because it's a resource hog. So I'll try to have that pulled up for tomorrow's live stream so that we can look at that. But basically, it's just supporting documentation on the cases. Let me bring this up. So if you want to know the data source for these indictments that are sealed and unsealed and non-sealed, you can go to indictmentanon.com or .info, or just go to qmap.pub and click on Indictment Anon above the map, and you'll get the supporting documentation. And then you can go to human trafficking and get the actual amount of cases that are being prosecuted since 2017 having to do with pedophilia and human trafficking. And then there's a great list of resignations here as well on qmap.pub. A great resource. And just in March alone, along with Bill Gates, look at the number of people. I think I counted close to 150 people. And not just in America, But in Canada, in Russia, in Malta, and even in China, that are associated with the human trafficking, money laundering, and child sex. So this is happening all over the world. UK, Netherlands, and these are just thousands of people around the world that they had in control. This is how dark and sinister this group is. It still is. That we haven't got them all behind bars yet. It's tricky. How are they going to handle this stuff? It's tricky. Many boards and many companies have just lost their top talent, and they are. Pedophiles are not stupid people. They are very intelligent people. They're able to keep their pedophilia hidden from the world. They're able to manipulate themselves and others in ways that you couldn't even imagine. And so, yeah, these are sycophants. And so they should be able to climb to the toppest levels of society, and through their secret organization, because pedophiles don't talk about pedophilia unless they're with other pedophiles, and they just love to talk about the pedophilia, and they love to interconnect around the world. And then that real power happens when pedophiles connect around the world and no one knows it. It's just an open secret, eyes wide shut to what they do. So how do we handle it? Well, we're handling it right now and doing it quietly. And that's why the Q says, just because there's silence does not mean that we are not active. Do not mistake silence for an action. So we are notifying all of these people that they are indicted or under investigation or have been arrested, and right now entering bracelets, but we're getting them out of the system and then allowing these companies to hire white hats, good people, normal people. So that's how we're handling it. We're slowly letting the black hats, the evil people, resign their positions, quit their jobs, and then slowly we're able to put good, decent people back in those positions, and then open the indictments as courts can handle them. And there was a great point that came out in I can't find it right now. Here it is. So we talked about this, I think the night before last, that vanilla people, for lack of a better word, a bunch of vanillas are being put in boards and being put as CEOs. But the U.S. Attorney's Office, District of Utah, put out an immediate press release May 13th, 2020, saying pandemic shutdown not stopping child exploitation cases, according to Utah federal prosecutors, FBI. So the courts are still, because they know how many cases they have to handle, they know the backlog of cases that they've got right now, that they are going to crank out these cases. And it's all been calendared out and has been basically war gamed out so that it happens, in a measured process and in and around the election. So even though the pandemic's happening, the prosecutions are still going on, especially with the child exploitation cases. Those are number one. Those are priority of the federal government. Thank God. Thank you, President Trump, for finally making child exploitation a number one priority. Yeah, vanilla on the inside. That's people who have dabbled in the BDSM community. Whenever you haven't dabbled in the BDSM community or just not a part of that community at all, you're vanilla. And if you're vanilla, stay vanilla. If you're golden, stay golden, pony boy. That BDSM and that community gets darker and darker and darker. The deeper you go, the darker it gets, and it is absolutely disturbing. And even the BDSM community says, "Oh, you child predators, you're evil, you're dark. We don't want to have anything to do with you." Even the deep dark BDSM people have no love for the pedophiles, and they really, a lot of the BDSM community are not very aware of the satanic pedophile cannibalistic community that sacrifices human children and drinks their blood, and also harvests their gland secretions to make adrenochrome. So a lot of the BDSM community is not aware of that. The deep dark BDSM community is aware of that. They don't want to have anything to do with those people. So it's just very, very, very interesting. So have faith, everybody, especially Q members. Trust the plan. Where we go one, we go all. The Great Awakening is happening. Nothing can stop what is happening. And please don't mistake silence for inactivity. It's all going as planned. Trust the plan. All right. Winding things up here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this. And the Great Awakening is occurring. And we are watching the Great Awakening happening around the Breadcrumbs project. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for your help. Especially thank you people who have joined the Breadcrumbs project by clicking that little button right there and joining the Breadcrumbs project for as little as $1.99. Join the conversation. And we have an after show after this show where we sit and talk about what we've been talking about, because I like doing this investigation and having to hear what you have to say. So join the Breadcrumbs project, become a member, and enjoy the conversation. All right. Thank you so much. Think good thoughts, do good deeds, and say good words.